Hi, I hope you guys can see me and hear me. Let me know in the chat. Welcome to the Spirit Guide Show. Again, let me know in the chat if you can hear me and see me, so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. Thank you so much. While you're at it, share with anyone who would be interested in watching the show with you today. There's a button either here or there. I still haven't figured out where it is for you. It says share. It's in the white kind of like menu on the top, and you can invite anyone by social media, by email, whatever you want. If you are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, please come on over here to Crowdcast. The link is in the description because only here can I give you a mini reading and answer your questions. So again, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, find the link below or above in the description. Really look through the description. There is a link, click on it, come on over here. If you have any tech issues, then reload the page, and that usually solves the problem. So just, reload the page, reload your screen, and you will usually be fine. All right, people are telling me that you can hear me and see me. Awesome. Yes. All right. Thank you guys for letting me know. Thanks, Autumn. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Erica. All right. And someone's having trouble logging in. I'm not sure. Please help. If anyone has tech issues, please help them, especially those of you who come all the time, who have been to the show a few times or even a lot. You know how it works. Please help the other ones out. I don't always see it. Thank you very much. All right, so let me introduce myself for those of you who are here for the first time. My name is Yamile Yemoonyah, and I'm a spirit guide medium, which means that I can sense other people's spirit guides around them and give you messages from your spirit guides. And I'm also a Hay House author, and my book is called The 7 Types of Spirit Guide. This is it. The 7 Types of Spirit Guide, How to Connect and Communicate with Your Cosmic Helpers. And you can get that book anywhere, Amazon, Booktopia, any of the bigger online retailers, offline retailers. You can just ask your bookseller to order it for you if they don't have it. It should be available pretty much all around the world. And of course, you can also order it on my website, and then you can do this here with this link that I just shared in the chat. All right, so if you read my book already, I would be super grateful if you could leave a rating on Amazon or wherever you bought it, because this will help me get the book into the hands of those people who need to read it, those that the book can help. So the more reviews, the more stars I get, the more people will see my book, and that would be great. Thank you so much. So Jenny says she loved the book. Thank you, Jenny. I'm glad to hear it. Suzy Susky 33 also says, I love your book. Awesome. Ivan says, sure, will do. Thank you, Ivan. I'm so grateful for that. Becky figured it out. She reloaded. She's here with us. Perfect. Welcome, Becky. All right. So on this episode of the Spirit Guide Show, we're going to do mini readings and Q&A. It's been a while since we've done this show. I needed some time to do other things and do self-care, but now I'm back and I'm ready to do some readings for you guys and answer your questions. Before we get started, I have an announcement to make. So tomorrow, I will teach a 3-hour in-depth workshop on how to connect with your guides. If this is something you're interested in, you can read more about it and get tickets at this link, and I will paste that into the chat. Give me one sec. Here we go. This is the link for the workshop. So like I said, this is going to be a 3-hour in-depth workshop. And I've never taught this topic like over 3 hours. Maybe you've done a workshop with me that took an hour, maybe 1.5. But here I really have the chance to go in detail and practice with you guys. There will be a lot of practice. And also, this will probably be the last time this year that I'm teaching a foundation class, so don't miss it. Going forwards, there will be some more classes that are a little bit more advanced or intermediate. So if you haven't done a workshop with me yet, this is your chance. This is probably the best one you can get. If you have done a workshop with me before, then you are still welcome to come, because there is no such thing as too much practice. And as I always tell you guys, connecting with your spirit guides is a skill, and every skill can be learned by practicing. So if you need some more practice, if you've done a workshop with me before and it didn't work out as much as you wanted to, or you want to brush up on your skills, please come along. The link is in the chat. All right. So, and yes, also, there will be a recording if you can't make it live. So don't worry about that. You can sign up, you can go about your day, and then you'll get the recording and you can do it in your own time. The exercises and the practice will work just as well. All right, so I really hope to see you guys there tomorrow. Like I said, this is probably the last time I'm doing like a foundation course this year, and I've never done it as in-depth as tomorrow. All right, so again, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, please find the link in the description. Come on over here to Crowdcast, because only here can I give you a reading, and only here can I answer your questions. And yes, Dietrich is right. Practice makes perfect. That's exactly what I always say. And it's also kind of very much a Virgo thing to say, I guess, and I'm a Virgo. So if there are any other Virgos out there, whoop, whoop, let me know in the chat. So before we get started with the actual readings, here are 5 things you need to know. First of all, my definition of spirit guides might be a little bit different from what you've read out there on the internet or in other books. So my definition is that any kind of being which is from the higher realms and is connected to us in unconditional love and wants to help us on our spiritual path and in day-to-day life is a spirit guide. So that's not just dead people. It also includes other types of spirit guide that here in the Western world are usually not mentioned when the conversation is about spirit guides. And so with the help of my guides, I have come to the conclusion that there are 7 types of guides. Number 1, angels. Most people know what angels are. I don't have to explain that. Number 2, ancestors. And when we have a spirit guide who is an ancestor, it's usually one that's from further back. So not your parents or your grandparents. It's and I'll explain why. Because especially if it's your main guide can't have been here on Earth while you are on Earth, because when they're human, they can't be your guide, right? I mean, they can't, but in a very different way, not a spirit guide. So if your main guide is a guide that has been with you from the start, when you were born to until you die, and so it has to be a being that has been in spirit for that entire time. So that means that if you have an ancestor guide, they're usually from further back, so hundreds or even thousands of years. The second reason is that the older we get, as in life as in death, we evolve. And so the older the spirit, the more experience they have, and usually they're the better guide. So it's even better that they're from further back. So again, angels, ancestors. Number 3, nature spirits. So we in the Western world, we call them fairies, elves, gnomes, etc. Other parts of the world, they have different names, but they're still nature spirits. Number 4, star beings, otherwise known as aliens, but I don't like to call them aliens because, especially when I do one-on-one readings, I don't want to freak people out. And some people have just watched too many scary Hollywood movies about aliens, and that's not what it's like. They're not here to take over humanity, they're here to help. And so, also, I call them star beings because this includes more than what we usually label aliens. These can be in basically any kind of being that's not from Mother Earth. That's what it is. All right, number 5, ascended masters. These are beings that were once humans and lived here on Earth, but they reached enlightenment and left the reincarnation cycle. And so now they're helping from the other side and don't incarnate anymore. Number 6, deities. That's gods and goddesses, again, from all over the world. And last but not least, animal guides. These are not the souls of an individual animal, like your pet that died. Again, your past pet can be around you and can help you, but they're not your main spirit guide. Again, because they have been here at the same time that you were here, so they can't be your main guide. So animal guides are not the souls of individual animals, they are the spirit of an entire species of animal. All right, so and any of these 7 types of guides can come through for you today during a reading. Also, we all have a team of guides, and the one that has the most important message will be the one that steps forward. So I don't say I want to talk to Thomas's angel. I just say I want to. I don't say anything really. I just open up, and I wait for the guide, Thomas's guide, that has the most important message, and that will be the one that steps forward. All right, and the most important part is you get the message you need to hear, which might be different from what you expect to hear. So you have to have an open mind. Again, our guides sometimes know things that we don't, and they will like talk about stuff that we thought that maybe we didn't even realize that was important. And so, yeah, you get the message that you need to hear, which might be different from what you expect. And here's how I work. I close my eyes only because it helps me to focus. That's really the only reason. My head is usually like this, as if I'm listening, and I am, but I don't get the messages as downloads. I don't get the messages as words. I get them as downloads, which is called claircognizance, and as visuals, which is called clairvoyance. And then I translate it into words and tell you what the message is. All right. So, and for me, like I said earlier, I don't ask for who I want to talk to. For me, it's a little bit like I pick up the phone and I see who's there. I don't dial in that sense. All right. And sometimes I will ask you, does this make sense? Do you understand this? That's so I know I'm on the right path. And then you can say yes, no, maybe, give me a little bit of an explanation, whatever makes sense for you. All right. Now here's what you need to do. You need to go and find the ask a question section. It's kind of like right below the book a reading button, the green button. It says ask a question. And I want you to type first time in there. So please do not type any full sentences. I don't need you to say thank you, please, or anything, just first time, so I can really quickly see who wants a reading. And also, only type this if you have never had a reading from me before. If you've had a reading from me before, either like a one-on-one session or a mini reading, please let others go first. And then once you type it in there first time, nothing else, I will invite people on screen along with a few other people at the same time. And then I will do the readings for everyone one by one. So type first time and just wait for me to call your name. I can't do readings for everyone. There's not enough time. So I will just randomly pick people, and I know that Spirit will pick the people that really need it. If you don't get a reading, don't worry. Come back next time. and keep listening to the messages that other people get, because our guides know that we're all here together and guides will work together. So oftentimes I will give a reading for one person and a few others will feel like that reading is for them as well because it makes sense to them. If that's you, know that it is a reading and a message that is also for you. Your guides make sure that you get the information you need. All right. So and again, don't type first time in the chat. Find the ask a question section. Type it in there. It's not the chat, it's a different thing. It's called ask a question. It literally says ask a question. It's under the button if you're on a laptop. On your phone, you can I forget how to do it on your phone. If someone is on their phone and knows how to do it, please describe it in the chat. That would be great. That would be great, and I would be grateful. Thanks. Yeah, it's on the left. If you're on your laptop, right under the green button. All right, so I'm going to look at this, and there's a few other questions. I will answer these later. Oh, one question I already answered, actually. Claire asked, can past family members be spirit guide? All right, so I'm going to invite Atusa. I hope I'm saying your name right. And I'm going to invite Tiffany. And I'm going to invite Tora. And I'm just gonna keep going until someone shows up. You will get, if I invite you, you will get a little box, I think, that invites you to come on screen. So just say yes, and then you'll be here. And we already have someone. Hi, Tora. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Great. Where in the world are you from?
I'm in Norway.
In Norway. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Awesome. If I had people here from Norway, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, welcome. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Let's see. I know I can somehow make us bigger. No, I don't want just you. I can't do that. All right. So let me close my eyes, and it will take me a little bit to tune in, and then I'll get started with your reading. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Your spirit guide is hiding a little bit. Let's see. All right, I see two guides, an angel and an animal guide. Let's see which one wants to step forward. All right, it's the angel. All right, your angel, it's a female, and she wants to talk about healing. Healing from two sides. So one is you having healing abilities, and the other is you going through a healing. So are you aware that you have healing abilities?
No.
Okay. Well, she says you do, and it's important that you realize this. And also, she's talking about the fact that I'm not quite sure. Either you already went through the healing, or you're still going through it. Does that make sense to you? That like first that you had like either like it could be a physical thing, could be a mental thing, could be a spiritual thing, but there's something about like you going or having gone through a healing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, right. And so she says, um, and this is true for everyone. When we as humans go through a healing, um, then we at the same time learn to heal because we heal ourselves. So we learn how to heal ourselves and we can apply that to others as well. So in that sense, you have gained healing experiences and it activated your innate healing abilities. But she says, it's not that the healing abilities just started now. You've had them um, before, you've had them in past lives as well. You've actually used your healing abilities in past lives. And so it's really about you recognizing your own healing abilities. And healing abilities can take lots of different forms. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse or a chiropractor or a crystal healer to have healing abilities. Just listening can be healing. Just being with someone, holding someone's hand while they're crying can be a healing experience. Um, Helping someone figure out their um, inner emotions can be a healing experience and a healing ability. So she wants you to like look back at your life and really see where and how your healing abilities have played out. Again, look at it from a like broad perspective, um, and see how it manifests. If you can't, if you have a hard time seeing it in your own life, then ask your family and friends how you have helped them. Ask them why they come to you when they have problems. Ask them why they come to you when they feel that no one else is there or when they feel that they can't talk to anyone else. That all these are signs that you have healing abilities. And also, if you feel like tingling in your hands or your hands get really hot, like in this area, um, that is also a sign that you have healing abilities and that they want to be um, used. And she says you can use your healing abilities on yourself. For example, when you have a headache, just rub your hands until they're really hot and then just hold them toward like this. Either you can really touch your head or like a little bit further away. It works both ways. And then just play with it and see what it does. She also says healing abilities don't have to be a one on one thing. It can also be that you're um, helping make this school education system better. That's also healing. Or maybe you're an environmentalist. That's also healing. So, again, look at your life, see where you bring in your healing abilities, and that will um, yeah, transform your life in a way. Um, And yeah, she looks like a um, typical angel in the sense that she's all in white. She has silver hair, long curly hair until here. She looks very fashionable, actually. Um, and she says, even though it might not seem related, but this is related to your um, work life, and there's a transformation happening there as well. And so, yeah, thinking about your healing abilities is going to have an effect on your work life. That does not mean that you have to become a healer. It might be completely like an indirect correlation, but there is a connection. And so she's saying that you seeing and accepting your own healing abilities is going to have an effect on your work life. And that's why she's mentioning it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope that makes sense, even though you're not aware that you have healing abilities. But yeah, look at your life and see if you can find it.
Yes, it makes sense in a way, but thank you very much. I have
All right.
to think more about it.
Yeah, do that. But I'm glad to hear that it makes sense a little bit. Um, yeah, sometimes our guides give us messages that might be like, oh, that's, I've never thought about that. But that's why they say it, so that we start thinking about it. So thank you so much for coming,
Thank you.
and enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
Thank you.
All right. And here we have Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Let me fix
Oh,
my
well, thank
headphones
you.
for a second. In the meantime, tell me where you're from.
Florida.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Nice and warm.
Nice and warm, exactly.
I like it. All right. Let's see who's here for you. All right. There's a star being here for you. Um, the star being is connected to the star system Sirius. It's Sirius. If someone could type that in the chat, please. Um, and what I'm getting is like the um, an image of water, which makes sense. You're also in Florida, but also like the word water. And I asked him, is it just because you live in Florida that I'm just thinking about water? But no, this is really important. There is a connection to water. Um, and it's very important that you definitely have water around you. If you can't have water around you, at least have like water in like especially at night, have a like bowl of water next to your bed. It will help you sleep better. And the connection to water comes from the star system Sirius. Also, when you want to communicate with your guides, try also having water close by and pay attention to clairsentience. Instead of trying to see your guide or hear your guide, feel them. Because you are like kind of like a child of like yeah, the water in some form. Um, and water is similar to emotions, so pay attention to your emotions when you try to connect. Instead of hearing or seeing, you might feel a wave of love coming through, or you might feel that someone is close, or you might feel that someone wants to communicate with you. And so pay attention to that. And your star being does not want to be gendered, so it's not like either male or female. It does look very much like, yeah, a little bit like we are used from the movies, like gray, but like fairly tall and a long head, not so much like, yeah, a little bit longer. And 3 fingers, like I think E.T. had 3 fingers. And there's a healing aspect to that as well. So whenever you need healing, turn to water. And you've had past lives in different places, not just here on Earth. And so you bring that energy from these other lifetimes with you here to Earth, and that is part of your purpose, to be a bridge between Sirius and Earth. And so you're, yeah, bringing that energy here. And that's part of the recalibration of the energy of Mother Earth that you are working with. And try to always live close to water. You might not be happy anywhere else. And there's something about dreams as well. Like your guide said earlier, with like half water in your bedroom, it will make you sleep better. There's something significant about dreams. So your guides connect with you when you're sleeping. And you might want to try either lucid dreaming or astral projection. That will really help you on your spiritual path, or anything to do with sleeping and dreaming. Yeah, I think that's it. Does that make
Thank
any
you.
sense to you?
It makes a lot of sense. It does.
So you
Thank
like
you.
being around water?
I appreciate the awesomeness of it. So, when I go to the ocean, I'm not much to be in it, but I do like to just kind of go sit and recharge by it. So
Yeah.
that resonates.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot, there was also something about connection with other women. So
Mm,
raising the divine feminine is part of your purpose as well. It's about being with other women and really paying attention to female energy and how that works differently from masculine energy, and to, yeah, bring that back, like that balance between the two, bring that back into the world. So surrounding yourself with other women is definitely important. Yeah,
thank you.
you're very welcome. Thank you for coming. All right, and we have, tell me how to pronounce your.
Hello, it's Atusa.
Okay, so I wasn't too far off. Thanks. I love the
Thank you
color
for
of
your
your
book.
room. Oh,
Thank you.
oh,
Thanks.
yeah, thanks. I hope you liked the book and it helped you in some
I
way.
did. Thank you a
Awesome.
lot.
All right, so let's see. Okay, this one's quick. You also have 2 beings that I'm aware of right now. Also a star being and an elf. Okay, let's see which one wants to step forward. The elf. Okay, let's see. It's a male. And elves usually show themselves to me either in the form like Lord of the Rings style or Disney style. This one is more Lord of the Rings. So he looks like a human in that sense, but he's an elf. Yeah, and he's also talking about like you going through a transformation. And kind of like you're trying to find your place in the world. And sometimes having a little bit of a hard time with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. He says, okay, forget about being like everyone else because you're not. So just accept it and just create a life that works for you. It doesn't have to work for anyone else. You don't have to like follow the normal path. You have to find your own path. And that is part of your purpose, to forge your own path so that others can follow who also want to take that path. And there are always humans that incarnate to do exactly that. A little bit like someone who goes through a forest and doesn't take the normal path, but like goes just wherever they want. And because when some, or like animals in a forest, you see like when a lot of animals like take the same trail, you see it. But one animal was the first who took that trail, and then the others followed because they saw, oh, someone walked here, so maybe let's see where this goes. And so that's your job, really. And so it's actually important that you are not like everyone else, and that you just follow your own, do your own thing. There's something about creativity. Do you like being creative?
Yeah, I'm an artist and
Yeah.
content creator, so makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, use your creativity. If you don't, you might start feeling a little depressed and lost. So if you do feel depressed and lost at times, go back to creating things. And really creating things just for the sake of creating. So content creation, especially for others, yes, that's also creativity. But when you feel depressed or something like this, then really just create for the fun of it. And what you are doing in this lifetime is basically creating a blueprint of a new way of living, your way. And so then that blueprint can be used by others if they want to. And so like this whole process of like finding your own place, figuring out how you want to live your own life is part of the process. And figuring it out is already living your purpose. You are living your purpose while you are figuring yourself out. And that's very important for you to know. And your guide's colors are silver and blue. And let's see if I can get a name. Sven.
Sven.
Yeah, so that's Sven.
Okay.
And he says he's also like protector for you, so a little bit like a guardian angel, even though he's not an angel. Because he says sometimes you don't feel safe, so you can always call on him when you don't feel safe.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's it.
thank you so much. That made so much sense. That was really helpful. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Yeah, keep going and just do your thing. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, guys, let's see what the time is. Oh my God. It's already pretty late. So I think we're going to do Q&A now. But let me check the chat if I missed anything important. Yeah, Maria says, I think many of us are linked to Sirius. Yes. I definitely have a special link to Sirius, and so I attract people that are also connected to Sirius. But I've also done readings for people who are more connected to Orion, Andromeda, and other star systems. And Jenny says, this is speaking to me too. I always feel better by the sea or any water. Again, if you didn't get a reading and some of it made sense, realize that your guides brought you here to hear that message and really take it as a message for yourself as well. Yeah, Safari, like, I think it doesn't work well with Crowdcast. So it's better to be on Chrome, works great. I'm not 100% sure about Safari, though. I think it might not work as well as Chrome. All right, so guys, if you have any questions, please again go to the Ask a Question section and type in your questions so that I can answer them. And I'll start with one that was posted earlier by Else. All right, so I think it's Else. I really need to wear my glasses. So she asked, can my spirit guide help me to release my traumas? Is this enough, or do I also need therapeutic help? If so, can my spirit guide give me a hint? Thank you very much. So yes, your spirit guides can help you heal, go through a healing process, especially when it comes to trauma. They can definitely help, and communicating with them, and you don't have to know who they are, you don't have to know how to communicate with them, just speak out loud and ask them, please help me get through this, please. Or even better, and I learned this from Kyle Gray, another Hay House author, instead of saying please, 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 say thank you. Because if you say please help me, you come from a place of lack, and if you thank them, you come from a place of abundance and gratefulness. And so you bring that in, instead of when you start with from a place of lack, you bring in more lack. So instead of saying please help me with my healing, or help me healing my trauma, say thank you, spirit guides, for helping me heal my trauma. It sounds much better, doesn't it? And then the second part of your question is this enough, or do I also need therapeutic help? Well, if you have a problem, whatever the problem is, could be a practical problem, could be a healing problem, could be whatever it is, I personally always go for getting all the help I can get. So I ask my guides, I find professionals like a therapist, I ask my friends for help, I talk to my family, whatever. So I highly recommend, when you have like some traumatic experience, you definitely go and find a therapist that is specialized in the kind of trauma that you're trying to heal, and get their help. Absolutely. If you break your leg, you go to a doctor. And sure, you can ask your spirit guides for help with your broken leg, but you need to go see a doctor. And the same is true if you go through a trauma. Please go see a therapist, and also ask your spirit guides for help. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Then I answered this one already. So Claire asks, can past family members be spirit guides? They can be around you and help you, but they can't be your main spirit guide because they were here here on earth while you were alive. And your main spirit guide is a guide that has been in spirit for the entirety of your life. Otherwise, they can't be your spirit guide. So that's why ancestors are usually from, your ancestor guides are usually from further back. All right. So then Alyssa asked, 2 years ago, I had a dream with 2 specific messages. One was about my dad, which was a confirmation that my mom was going to come for him when he passed. The other message was for me. My grandmother was sitting next to a beautiful woman. She literally felt like sunshine. She kept saying shaman, nodding at the woman. Then my grandmother spoke her name. I have prayed and meditated, but I have not made contact with this spirit. How can I connect with this guide teacher? Excuse me. So the thing is, sometimes spirit guides will show up for us in various ways for the first time, like it happened for you here. And then you might not see them again in that exact form, even by that exact name, but they might show up in different ways. So, for example, so one of my guides is, I call him Grandfather Bear, and he sometimes shows up as a bear, but sometimes he shows up as a human. And in the beginning, I didn't realize that it was the same guide. And then at some point, I realized it because while I was being in contact with them, he changed from one to the other. So I would pay attention not to like making contact with exactly the same, well, yes, with the same spirit, but not in the same way. What I'm trying to say is don't expect spirit guides to show up in the same way all the time. Open up your mind a little bit, and that will help you make the connection easier. So come to my workshop tomorrow. I will show you how to make the connection, but keep an open mind about how that spirit guide might show up for you. And then what I always say is like, when you're not sure, wait for something to happen 3 times. A lot of people will email me and ask me, I saw my grandmother in a dream. No, that's not a good example. I saw a fox in my dream. What does that mean? Well, if you see it once, it can mean something. It doesn't have to mean something. If you see it twice, start paying attention. If you see it 3 times, then it's probably a guide. And so what I'm trying to say is like, keep an open mind, learn how to connect. And I can't tell you exactly how to do that here because, I mean, it's going to take me 3 hours tomorrow. So, but you can make connection with that guide again. Just keep an open mind about how they might show up. I hope that helps. All right. Then we have a question. Oh God, my glasses. Lewin, I'm not sure how to pronounce their name, sorry. I've seen a few UFOs and have captured them on my phone in pictures and videos. Lately, I've been getting bits and pieces about star seeds, star guides. Can you confirm, please, if it's them reaching out? And if so, what's the best way to connect? Sorry, I can't do another reading right now, but the best way to connect, again, come to my workshop tomorrow, come to another workshop, and I will teach you how to do it. Definitely also do a lot of research into the different star systems, what makes you feel, which one calls to you, do research into star seeds, and meditate and try to meditate, and then open up to your guides. You don't have to do anything very special. Just set the intention that you want to connect with that guide and see what happens. But again, I can explain that much better in the workshop tomorrow. So I hope this helps at least a little bit. All right. And Autumn asks, is this going to be a weekly occurrence again, the Spirit Guide show? I try to do it weekly, but sometimes I just have other stuff going on. But yes, I always send out like the emails on Friday, and then the show is on Saturday. So if I don't send out the email, there's no show. If I do send out the email, there is a show. All right, so Lily wants to know, what do we do if we can't connect with our spirit guides? Everyone can connect with their spirit guides. People always say, I can't do it, but usually, first of all, they don't know how. So it's kind of like trying random things and you don't know how to do it. Just like any skill, like I said earlier, you need to learn how to do it, and then you need to practice. You can't expect to just sit and wait and then it happens. Just like you can't expect to sit and wait and then suddenly you know how to ski. You have to like get the skis, put them on your feet and go to the mountains and start practicing. So don't expect that you can just do it out of nowhere. Learn how to do it, then work on your mindset, because oftentimes, actually always, our spirit guides are already communicating with us. We just don't realize it because we're not in the right mindset. For example, especially in the Western world, we are taught that we teach our brain, literally teach our brain, to only pay attention to things that we can physically see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. And everything else is just like put aside unconsciously. And so a lot of times when our spirit guides communicate with us, we don't even realize it because our brain automatically filters it out, because it's not like we can't touch it or see it. And so we need to reset our mind and learn to use our clairs. And the clairs are like our inner senses, our psychic senses. And so clairvoyance is clear seeing. And that means like you see, for example, your guides. And that doesn't mean that you see them outside of you. That means that you can see them inside of your own mind. You close your eyes, you see them inside of your own mind. That's just as valid as seeing them outside of you. And so, or sentience. I talked about that earlier. Clairsentience means your feeling is the way that you communicate with your guides. And so you have to learn all these things, like what are the different clairs? How can I use them? How does it work? What's my main clair? And then you can start communicating. And so, like I said, just with everything, learn the skills and you can do it. I promise you, everyone can do it. Really, everyone. Just like everyone could set up their own website if they took the time and made the effort to learn how to do it, and then you do it. So there is no, I can't do it. Just doesn't exist. I promise you. So just practice. That's what you need to do. All right. All right, so Priscilla says, hi, Yamile. I recently had soul reading and was told that I didn't have a spirit guide of my own, that the spirit guide I thought I had was me in a past life because my soul wasn't sitting properly in my body. I really need to know who my guide is because I must have one somewhere. Of course you do. Everyone has a spirit guide. At least we all have a team of guides. So I don't know who you went to for that reading, but you definitely have a spirit guide. I can promise you that. So maybe it's true that you were in connection with like your past self. Could be, but you definitely have a spirit guide. So don't worry. I can really promise you that you have spirit guides. All right. Let's see. Are there more questions? I know Maria says, I can't believe a reader would give such negative info. Yes, if you go to reading, no matter who does it, and you go away feeling worse than before, then it was not a good reading. There could be two reasons. One, maybe there was a misunderstanding that happens. So really like let it settle for a few days, because your own fears could get in the way. You might have misunderstood something. So let it settle for a few days and see how you feel then. That's number one. Number two is the person was just not a good reader. And then you can basically ignore everything they said, or just take on the things that make sense for you and forget about the rest. That's actually true for any reading, because no reader in the world can give you 100%, is 100%. Like there is no reader that's perfect. When you get a reading, you are a good reader will maybe of what they're saying, 70, 80, maybe a little bit more of the stuff that they're saying is true and right for you. The other 20, 30%, just forget about it. And if you go to a reading and you feel like it's only 20% that's true, then it wasn't a good reading. So, and then just ignore it. All right. Yes, and this applies to readings of all sorts, tarot, mediums, astrology. That's totally right. All right, so let's see, any other questions? I'm scrolling. There was a lot of people that wanted a reading. So here, Chris wants to know, is my spirit guide guiding me through my dreams? I don't know for you specifically, but that is definitely a possibility. A lot of people get their information from their guides through their dreams, also because, like I said earlier, we literally train our brains to filter out their messages. And when we are asleep, our ego is not as awake. And so it's easier for them to give us the messages. And so, yes, a lot of people communicate with their guides in dreams. And if you know that you are connecting with your guides through dreams, or that you know you have really intense dreams, then something like lucid dreaming or astral projection is a really good way to go, because it will help you to really dream on a conscious level, and then you can really consciously communicate with your guides in your dreams. All right, scrolling again. All right, so Nadine wants to know, are guides always human? No, they're not. Like I said earlier, there are 7 different types of guides. Angels, and I have to look at it again, because even though I wrote a whole book about it, I always forget one, at least. So let me find my little list. I can't find it. Anyway, so angels, ancestors. So ancestors can be people that you actually knew, but again, these are usually not your main guides. It can be ancestors from hundreds or thousands of years back. It can be ancestors that are not like related to you by blood, but by a spiritual tradition or a vocation or a calling. I call all of these ancestors. Then number 3 is nature spirits, so elves, fairies, gnomes, etc. Animal guides. So again, that's not like an individual animal, but the spirit of an entire species. Deities, so gods and goddesses. Star beings, So any being that's not from here, from Mother Earth. And of course, I'm forgetting one. Which one am I forgetting? I think, I forget. So if you guys know what I forgot, please let me know in the chat. But yeah, so there are 7 different types of guides. Janie says, what's the difference between the course you are leading tomorrow and the one on your website? It's very similar. Only this is live. So you can ask me questions. I can give you feedback. But yes, it's similar. Absolutely. But it's a newer version. So the one on my website is maybe, I don't know, a few years old by now. So all the new stuff that I learned is in this course tomorrow as well. All right. Ascended Masters, that's the one I forgot. Thank you. Okay, I'm scrolling again to find questions. Oh, this is a good question. I always contact my spirit guides more clearly when I do the workshops with you, rather than when I do it by myself. Why is that, and how do I get clearer by myself? There are 2 reasons. One is because when you do it in a workshop environment, it might give you more confidence, because yeah, actually that's a big part of my workshops, that I try to like instill the confidence in you that yes, you can absolutely do it. So that might help. And then the other thing is the energy. So when you, in the workshops, there are other people and we all do it at the same time, and that raises the energy, and it draws you with the, so when everyone does it, it's kind of like as if we're all trying to fly. And if you're doing it by yourself, it's harder. But if you see the others fly, then it's easier, because you see, oh, they can do it, then I can do it too. And so the energy, like just, it's a group energy that helps you get into the right mindset and into the right energy, what's the word? State. So that's probably why. So keep coming back to the workshops, but also, and this is reason number 3, you need to practice at home on a regular basis. So you need to do it like, let's say, once a week. You can also do it every day, but that's not necessary. Just the main thing is that you do it regularly, and that will help you to really gain the confidence and to really feel out like the right energy state for you so that you can do it. Annabelle wants to know, how do I know I've connected to my guide and it's not just my imagination? That's a huge question and a huge topic, and I've done a whole episode on it, like Spirit Guide Show episode. And if you go to Crowdcast, to my profile, you can see all the past episodes and you can find it there. And if you go to the description of this specific episode, there's a link to past episodes. So just click on that after we're done here, and then you can find it. I think it's literally called, Is It My Spirit Guides or My Imagination? Here's someone, TW, asks a clairaudient question. How should we work with clairaudient translators? Do we need to know who they are on top of who our guides are? How much can Archangel Uriel help? I'm not quite sure what you mean by clairaudient translator. I don't have anyone who translates like my clairs for me. That's just practice. So for example, this is a clairvoyance example, and lots of you know that already, but when an angel comes through and the angel wants to talk about the client's work, especially if they want to encourage the client to start their own business or keep going with their own business, the angel will show up in a business suit. And the minute I get that image, I already know, okay, they want to talk about work and specifically about setting up their own business. And so I translate that. I see that image. I know from experience, this is what it means. And so I think the same thing goes for clairaudience or clairsentience. You can do it on your own. If there's something else that you mean by clairaudient translator, please let me know because I'm curious. All right, thanks for your question. And I'm scrolling again. All right, I think this. So Sharon wants to know, how do I seek help from my guides for angst and fear that I feel about my health and always having the worst outcome thought about situations in life? You just ask. That's it. Sorry that I'm laughing, but I don't mean to disrespect you, but that's it. You just ask. The same as I said earlier, you don't have to know who they are. You don't have to know anything about them. You just say, thank you, spirit guides, for helping me overcome my fear and my angst. And then you just go about your life, and they will probably send you into situations where you literally have to overcome your fear and your angst. So you might be in situations that trigger it a little bit, so that you have to get through it. And then afterwards, you know that you've conquered your fear. And so that gives you the knowledge that you can do it. And then the next time you will have a little bit less fear. And that's really how they work. If they sometimes just literally put you in situations in life so that that situation can help you overcome certain things. Or they might put a therapist in your way. Like maybe you are just walking down the street and suddenly if you find a card for a therapist who specializes in anxiety, for example, and then you call that therapist and a therapist helps you. So they can do that, or they can send you dreams that help you understand why you have these anxieties. And so they can help in all kinds of different ways, but the main thing is that you just ask for their help. All right. And yeah, when it comes to spirit guides, it's always helpful to ask. Don't assume that they, I mean, yes, you can assume that they're there and helping you, but if you ask them, you literally open the doors wider for them so they can take a bigger part in helping you. All right, so there are more questions, but we're running out of time. I really hope this has helped you. Let me check the chat if there's anything that I missed. Oh, here, TW says, if your guide's main modalities aren't clairaudience, they can get a translator to ease the process. Interesting. I've never heard that before. I've never had the experience, so it's totally possible. Interesting, definitely. Thanks for mentioning that. I do know that like some people have gatekeepers. That's what they call them in the spiritualist tradition. And a gatekeeper is a guide that comes in mostly for mediums. So when a medium does readings, when they have a gatekeeper, they don't communicate with the spirits themselves, but only with the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper is the one who brings in the other spirits who have messages. And the gatekeeper is the one who basically gets the message and then gives the message to the medium. And so I think I have a gatekeeper when I do trance mediumship. And I haven't done that publicly for your guys yet, but I don't have a gatekeeper when I do like these kinds of readings. So maybe it's something similar. And Agata asked, can we still sign up tomorrow for your course? Yes, you can. And I will find the link for you again and post that. Hold on. Here you go. Here's the link again. All right, guys. So let's see. Did I forget anything? So yes, of course. If you want to book a 1 hour one-on-one reading with me, then all you have to do is click the green button below that says book a reading. Or you can go to my website and click in the menu, click work on me and then readings. And you will find it there as well. And when I do a one-on-one reading with you, like I said, it's 1 hour. It's you can ask any questions you want. It's like way more in depth than obviously these mini readings. And I love doing them, and I would love to do one for you. So if you're interested, click that green button below. Also, I know I've said this a few times already, the price will go up a little bit. So if you want to get a reading, now is a good time to book. Also be aware you will have to wait a few months because I'm booked until I think September now. And don't wait because the list is not gonna get shorter. Just go and book it now for the price that it is now, and then you'll get your reading in September. If you wait longer, the price will go up and you will probably have to wait even longer. So yeah, now is a good time. And also, if you want to learn how to connect with your guides, come to the workshop tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. All right. And in the chat, someone's asking USD. I'm not sure what that is about. So I can't answer that question, but Alyssa has answered the question. Yes, USD. Yes, the workshop will be recorded. I think you're asking about the workshop. Readings are also being recorded, the one-on-one readings, and I will send you the recording. Nadine says I can smell things. Yes, that's Claire scent. Doesn't happen with a lot of people. Awesome. Yeah, I really wish I could allow you guys like a payment plan, but I'm not the organizer, so I can't do that, unfortunately. Oh, Jenny says, so excited for my reading in a few weeks. Yay. Awesome. Maria says, had a reading last month. Very powerful and helpful. Jamila is like no other I've worked with. Oh, thanks, Maria. Oh, the workshop cost. It's probably in pounds, in US, in British pounds. No, sorry, it isn't. It's in right. It's in American dollars. It is because it's by the Infinity Foundation and they're in Chicago. Yes, sorry, it's definitely in USD. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I had a lot of fun as always. And please follow me on Instagram. I'll post that as well. And then send me a DM so I know you came through the show and I will follow you back. And yeah, thanks again for coming, everyone. All right.